What if everyone around you believed you had the perfect life, the perfect husband, the perfect home, but every single morning you woke up feeling like a stranger in your own marriage? This is the story of a woman who married a good man for the wrong reason, and finally found the strength to tell him the truth. But the truth he told her back was something she never expected. My name is Claire. I am 28, and I live in a quiet part of Seattle called Fremont, with tall trees, small cafes, and friendly neighbors who smile when they see me walking to work. They think I have a perfect life. A nice apartment, a steady job at a bookstore, and a husband who loves me more than anything. But I am not happy. Every morning, I wake beside my husband, Nathan, and feel a quiet guilt fill my chest before I even open my eyes. Nathan is kind, patient, and gentle. He never forgets my birthday. Every Friday, he brings me fresh flowers. He tells me I am beautiful, even on days I do not feel it. The problem was never Nathan. The problem was me. A year ago, I married him for the wrong reason. Before Nathan, I loved another man, Ethan. We dated for 4 years, and I truly believed we would marry one day. Then, one afternoon, he told me he had fallen for someone else, and simply walked away. I broke completely, crying most nights, staying away from my friends, staying away from my own life. Then Nathan appeared. He listened. He made me laugh. He stayed beside me when everyone else seemed too busy. The week he proposed, we walked beside the lake, and he gave me a small silver heart necklace, his hands trembling slightly as he fastened it around my neck. Sometimes, in that quiet moment, he looked at me a little too long, almost like he was waiting for me to say something I never said. When he asked me to marry him, I said yes, not because I loved him, but because I wanted the hurting to stop. I told myself love would arrive later. It never did. Nathan believed our love was growing stronger every single day. He had no idea how wrong he was, and soon, his kindness would push me toward a moment I could not escape. One evening, on our balcony under a sky full of stars, Nathan took my hand. "This first year has not always been easy," he said softly, "but I believe our love grows stronger every day." I forced a smile. "I hope so," I whispered, hating myself for the lie. A few weeks later, Nathan came home glowing with excitement. "I booked us a trip," he said, pulling out plane tickets. 1 week, just the two of us, to celebrate our first year together. My stomach dropped. I had already been thinking, quietly, secretly, about how to leave him. "This looks amazing," I said, forcing my voice to sound bright. Inside, my chest felt tight and cold. That night, packing a small bag for the trip, I stopped, sat on the edge of the bed, and almost called out to him. "Nathan, I need to tell you something," I practiced whispering to the empty room. But when he walked in smiling, holding 2 cups of tea, the words disappeared from my mouth completely. "Not yet," I told myself. "Not yet. The trip was beautiful and painful at once, every smiling photo a small lie. When we returned, I met my best friend, Hannah, at a small cafe by the lake. Hannah always ordered 3 desserts and finished none of them, and today was no different. "You've lost weight," she said, pushing a plate toward me anyway. "I know," I admitted quietly. "You can't keep living like this," she said. "I don't want to hurt him," I whispered. "Claire," she said gently, "he already feels your distance every single day. A lie hurts him slowly." The truth would only hurt him once. That night, I finally sat Nathan down to say the words I had been swallowing for a year, but what he said back was something I never once expected. "Claire, what's wrong?" he asked, noticing my shaking hands. "I care about you deeply," I said slowly, "but I don't love you. I never did. I married you trying to forget someone else, believing love would come later. It never did." The room went completely silent. Nathan looked at me for a long moment, and then, quietly, he smiled a sad smile. "I knew," he said. "I knew before our wedding day." My whole body went cold. "You knew," I whispered, "and still married me?" "I almost canceled everything," he admitted. I stood outside the church for 10 minutes that morning, unsure. "But I hoped, every single day since, that you would finally choose to love me back." Tears filled my eyes. "I don't understand," I said. "Why would you do that?" "Because I loved you enough for both of us," he said simply. "And even now, knowing everything, I still choose you, Claire. If you stayed, I would keep waiting." For one terrifying moment, I did not know what I would say. My eyes fell on our wedding photo on the shelf behind him, both of us smiling, and for a second, I let myself imagine staying, simply resting inside a love that big, a love that asked for nothing in return. Then I thought of Ethan, of 4 years spent hoping love would eventually arrive on its own, and I understood, staying with Nathan now, for this reason, would only be the same mistake wearing a kinder face. Part of me almost stayed anyway. Right there, simply because someone loved me that deeply. But staying because he loved me was the exact mistake I had already made once. "I'm sorry," I whispered. "I can't build my life on your love alone. I have to build it on my own." Nathan nodded slowly, his eyes wet. "I understand," he said. "I just wish you had told me sooner." "I was afraid," I admitted. "I know," he said gently. We sat together in silence, no shouting, no blame, only real, honest sadness, and for the first time in months, I finally felt something close to relief. Leaving him after everything he had just told me felt harder than I ever imagined, but staying in his apartment, I met someone who forced me to face a question I had been avoiding my whole life. The next morning, I packed a small bag and moved into Hannah's spare room. Life stayed heavy for weeks. Then, one afternoon, I noticed a sign outside the community center, a beginner's writing class, and signed up without giving myself time to think twice. On my first evening, an older man sat beside me, nervous, clearly new to writing. "I'm only here because my wife wanted me to try something new," he said. "She passed away last spring. I never told her enough how much I loved her." His words hit me like cold water. I had spent a year running from a love that was too strong, while this man would have given anything to hear those same words one more time. That night, I could not sleep. Was I wrong to leave? I wondered. Then I remembered something important. Nathan's love for me was real and beautiful, but it was his love, not mine. Loving someone back cannot be forced, no matter how much they deserve it. I found a small studio apartment near the bookstore, painted one wall soft yellow, and placed a single plant on the windowsill. For the first time in years, a space finally felt entirely mine. I still had lonely evenings, coming home to silence. But I reminded myself, being alone with the truth was better than living with someone inside a lie. One afternoon, my phone buzzed. A message from Nathan. "I joined a cooking class," he wrote. "I wanted you to know I'm okay. You don't have to reply." I smiled gently and typed back, "I'm happy you're doing well. I joined a writing class myself." "Thank you," he replied simply. No anger. Just quiet kindness. Months later, my hands found something small and silver at the back of my closet, the exact necklace from the night he proposed, and holding it again meant saying one final, difficult goodbye. Inside a small box at the back of my closet was the silver heart necklace Nathan had given me the night he proposed, years earlier. I held it for a long time before deciding I could not keep it. I wrote him a short note. "Thank you for every act of kindness you showed me," I wrote. "You loved me with your whole heart, and I will always respect that. I cannot keep this necklace, because it belongs to a love I could never fully return. I hope one day you find someone who loves you exactly as deeply as you love them." I asked Hannah to deliver the box. A few days later, she called, her mouth clearly still full of something sweet. "He got it," she said. He smiled and said, "Tell Claire thank you. I wish her a happy life." A single tear rolled down my cheek, not from wanting him back, but from understanding that two people who once shared a home could still choose kindness over anger. Winter slowly became spring. I visited museums, read in quiet cafes, laughed with my writing classmates. One evening by the lake, watching the orange sky reflected on the water, I finally understood something important. Love is not only about finding the right person. It is also about becoming the right person, honest enough not to build a future on a beginning built on fear. Today, when people ask if I regret my choice, I answer honestly. I regret hurting Nathan, but never regret telling the truth. Even after he asked me to stay. Sometimes the kindest thing you can do for someone, and for yourself, is choose truth over comfort. If your heart feels heavy right now, please hear me. Do not stay silent because you are afraid. The truth may hurt today, but it brings peace tomorrow, and every new day is still another chance to write a better chapter of your own story.